Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Guillotine here, and I am back with another farming strategy. So I did briefly mention this one in my last video as an option, and it's the Hive breed gland, which takes you to the Hive colony. It's a boss farm. So we're going to start a little bit backwards first. So when you farm these bosses, they drop a good amount of Hive blood, sort of between 1500 and 2200, so you get quite a lot quite quickly. Say if you do sort of 50 of these, you're going to have a very full Hive blood tab. It does actually nicely give you a warning these days. It does say you're close to full when you're at 90, which is really useful. So what we're going to do with these is, part of this strategy is the provisionals are just valueless, genuinely worthless. You just 5-to-1 them, so you get 5 to 1, and you are hoping for ancients, and then you want either lavish, mysterious for what we're going to do, depending on what you fancy. So what we're going to do is, for these ancients, we're just going to put them up for sale. So as you can see, there's some quite nice money to be made out of this, considering these cost quite a bit less than that. Depending on your time of day and what have you, they are currently 10C. Obviously, I would probably stick a buy order for 11C, so I'd buy like 100 for, yeah. But if you were to just buy them, they're quite expensive. I never just buy them. I put up a buy order, they still come my way. I mean, like, I've never ever paid full whack for them. I just buy like 100 whenever they're at a decent price. I personally, I'd probably pay like 14-15C for them genuinely. You'd still be making money, but you know, you don't want to overpay for stuff, do you? So I'll leave that one with you. A trick with this, when you're putting a whole tab in, I know a lot of people don't know this one, if you put one in and price it, if you hold control and right click the rest of them, they'll just go in at your previous, like they'll match the last one you did basically. So instead of like individually putting them in and pricing each one, you just do one and then control and just right click down the list, and they will go in to save you hours of time doing this. Right, well, let's go and do the first part of this then. So with our tree, again, this is very much up to you what you like doing. Just going to straight away tell you the most money is these. They're the cheapest to buy, apart from these, but we're not counting them. Cheapest to buy, and with this one, this setup, essentially we're trying to birth additional ancient wound gifts. It also chucks out like 2120 gems, it chucks out loads of stack decks. It's just infinitely better profit wise than basically anything else you can do here. You can't really value the Hive blood because you can't sell it, so all you can do is use it. So basically you can use it on equipment to target fractured bases, or you can use it to do this, or you can bang it into lavish currency. I tend to mix these two up a little bit, however I'm leaning towards just buying these now, honestly. So I just buy these, and I just literally spam them. And there is nothing else you could do in this tree that will make you close to that money consistently. I mean, God knows what that scarab's worth, but I imagine it's probably worth more than anything else we could have done. It says 19C. I don't know. We'd have to check. But yeah, so essentially this is what you want to do for max money. You can do the lavish for currency and sort of just hope for the odd divine. I'm not going to lie, they do drop, but they're not common. You know, I could spend like 50k Hive blood and I might get one. Whereas with this, I've already made so well, that's 20, sort of 40C just there, plus like 20C in stack decks, plus that like 15C scarab. and we only did like 6 of these, and they're worthless. They're like, you can go and buy them right now for however much they are, not a lot. How much are Mysterious? It says free C there, I don't know about that, but even if they were free C, it's certainly worth it all day long. But that's what I would do if you're looking to make the most money out of it. If you do want to go on a long shot gamble, you can always use the Ancients with this if you want to. Nothing against that. You can set it up however you want. I would probably target jewels personally, but people do like to target belts for obvious reasons. They like extra blood, etc. With this, I just started pissing about with this Foulborn currency, and that's actually, some of those are quite pricey. Like the Regal's like sort of 15C and stuff, but they're pretty rare, honestly, and that's just not enough money to make it worth it. I mean, technically, you could do it as drop to full stack, and you could drop a full stack of Divines, right, which is 20, which would be amazing if you drop 20 Divines. I've never done that. I've never seen that. I've done this for multiple leagues now since this came out, basically, this strategy. And some people might find this boring, which is fair enough. I like boss farming, so like I think most people that play ARPGs, especially older ARPG players, are very, very used to boss farming. It's sort of like, you know, Diablo 2, etc. That's literally the only way you get items, basically. So we're pretty used to it. But again, if people like to do different things, that's fine. But it's you need a bit of everyone doing a bit of everything in this game for the economy to work. So we've already paid for our ticket price already with that one ancient that's dropped out of that chest. So what we're doing is our whole aim is to run around as quickly as possible, and we are trying to find every single chest, and the chest can drop multiple things. So they can drop a divination card called the Chosen, which is for a double corrupted Skin of the Loyal, and that varies in price quite wildly, to kind of like the ticket price a little bit. But it's around a div generally. It used to be a bit more. It can sometimes be a bit more, can sometimes be a bit less. But as you can see, it's really quite fast. Even if you don't have mage flow, it's not crazy long. Do you know what I mean? So what we're fishing for with this boss, I can AFK it pretty much, so we won't worry too much about that. Is we are looking for essentially the jewels. So ignore these because we can't drop multiple. She can only drop one mod Foulborn items, but there's still plenty of them that are worth a lot of money. So any of these red gems are 30 div, so that's your main big ticket. She'll also drop a Foulborn Skin of the Loyal, which depending on the colorations is between sort of 10 and 30 div. I sold one earlier for 35 div because it was like the perfect colors. But there's some other bits and pieces that are quite nice that she sells. So Foulborn, again, these are sort of good money if they drop double, but then they're never going to drop double out of this. Some of these ones are quite good, so you get like, they're not, you know, crazy, but it sells 75C at 75C, isn't it? There's also Severed and Sleep. There's also this ring, which is like 6 div. So essentially what we want to do, we missed the ting for the video with our streamer client. Sucks. So anyway, what you want to do is they drop these rings, right? So this is the rare one. And there's a render recipe for these rings. So you do want to keep a healthy stash of these. They drop quite often. This one's about 50, 60C. So you might not want to keep too many of them depending on what stage of the league you're in. Like, I mean, I'm literally ready to go home, right? Like, I've got everything. Basically, the only thing I need now is like greater in power. That's basically all I need. Oh, greater enlightened as well. Nice small purchases, obviously. But anyway, so yeah, all these are like 1C except this one. So the Will of Ash, that's depends on what point of the day it is actually, because people only want these for this, right? So essentially they're buying the ones they don't have to make this vendor recipe. But because this one's rarer, obviously the price is a little bit higher. With these, I imagine they're going to be like 1C. No, maybe not. Oh, again, this is taking the rolls into account, which obviously nobody cares about the rolls. You could bang all these in a tab for like 10, 15C, and they would probably sell at some point, right? If you wanted to do that. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to just put these 5 in. Get our formless ring. So this is really hyped at the minute because everyone's using it for a golem build. Yeah, an elementalist golem build. So it's super popular, right? So it says 7 div there. Let's just go and double check that. It's usually about right. Yeah. So the ring by itself, if you weren't to mess about, do this, is about 5-6 div. And then if you do this, then obviously it's going to be a little bit higher, right? So we're going to just put it up for 7 div. Happy days. But as you can see, this strategy can pay off quite quickly. That is, I'm not going to lie, that is lucky. But, you know, it's useful because it lets me show you the vendor SP. But again, that's not even close to the biggest ticket thing that can drop in here, right? Like, unfortunately, that is not one of them. But, you know, it's worth checking these things. But again, we're just going to do the same principle again. We're going to run around, we're going to look for chests, and we're going to hope for big things. The jewel can drop from these chests, by the way, the like 30 div one. I have got them from chests before. And I'm not going to tell you I only do like 5 of these and I get all the big ticket stuff. That's just obviously not how the market works. The price of these would be fucking insane if that's how this worked. But you do get stuff like really often. This is probably the most, well, this is the highest income thing I can do in this game. So if it's something that you like doing, so I'm comparing this, right, to put it into context, I'm comparing this against going under the sea with a rough idea of what I'm doing, and also doing fully juiced beyond. So that's the three. This is the 3 things that I do for currency, and this pulls ahead by quite a margin. If I actually need to save to buy something, this is what I would do.
The time has come.
So I've worked it out at around 15 div an hour, but I am really fast. So, you know, it's a good 10 div an hour for anyone, basically. Although, if you're playing a minion build that can AFK this, it is a lot nicer, obviously, because you're only really playing half of it, aren't you? But this is the loop. You just come in, do the boss, run around, do all chests, do the boss, leave. And it's sort of 2-3 minutes. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about this. They're only actually like in a phase where I can damage them for like seconds. So, but if you wanted to know how to do this fight without any of that bollocks, essentially there's one of them that does a strange sort of Zana shield, and then rains down ice that you need to run into if you're not spell suppression gapped. If you are, you can just ignore it for the most part. So this one can be money, it's worth checking. So it just depends which mods are on there. It doesn't actually, the power charge mod is the one that people want. It depends what it's replaced, right? So if it has the cast speed, etc. on it, generally that's the one that's worth good money. But, you know, again, you could stick most of this in tabs for, I don't know, 10C or something, and a lot of it will sell eventually. There is not Severed in Sleep, United in Dream, which is the upgraded Severed in Sleep. I mean, they're 1C, but there is one mod with minions have 30% quality, 20 to 30% quality, and every single one except 30% bang on quality is like 1C, and then that one is 3 div. So it is worth checking them, because you don't want to vendor 3 div, right? So we'll go again. Why not? It's not the longest video in the world. We're just doing a quick farming strat. Oh, I quite want to show you like other stuff that drops, because there's So there's also a blueprint card off the boss that drops, which is not crazy money, but it is like 20C, which adds up. That you get quite a lot of them. Not quite as many as the Chosen, but you know, I'm sorry, you get more than the Chosen. It's not as worth as much as the Chosen. Sorry, but yeah, I mean for a low cost entry farm, and it's not the hardest boss in the world. If you're trying to get into boss farming, I mean this is right up there. Like occasionally you get a bit unlucky with this, so there's not many chests, but then occasionally you'll run around and you get 2 Chosen cards, which is like 3 div. Do you know what I mean? It's just swings around about. It's just the nature of boss farming where you'll get fairly big ticket things. But I mean, if you were to think about it, like there's almost nothing that can drop off like Eater of Worlds or anything that's actually worth 30 div. There's very few. There's like a couple of forbidden jewels. Wake. But that costs like 150 chaos to go and do, or 120 chaos to go and do. Right? This costs like 10C. Pathetic. You can also get big ticket things off the chests on the way in.
Many become one.
I mean, obviously a lot of the times you're going to get complete shit, but for the cost to entry, for the amount of profit that you can generate from this is unreal. Which hopefully I don't make this too popular and ruin it for the next league, but let's do a general run. That's a good idea to move out of. Foul-born mistake. But I don't want to oversell it. I don't want to undersell it either, right? So with all my strategies, I like to show people, and I don't like to sugarcoat it or do clicky bait titles like, oh, 15 div an hour, because it's just, you know, everyone's mileage is going to vary, right? But if you do enough of them, so if you are genuinely doing them, like in 3 minutes, over and over and over again, right, you are going to drop like big ticket jewel items, right? Like this would be crazy if it, of course. So again, this honestly couldn't have gone any better as a video, could it? I've dropped like 40 div of items in 10 minutes. 40 div in 10 minutes, that's the title. Right. I mean, what more proof do you want? I mean, I suppose you actually want to go see it in trade, right? I mean, come on. What more do you want? Best strategy ever, right? These are going to be like, I'm going to make proper bank. I'm going to buy these up now. But no, I mean, obviously, this is quite lucky. But again, it's not the first time it's ever happened to me. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm looking through the stuff, I've got... Where's stuff I've sold earlier when I was doing it? So there's one of the Foulborn United in Dreams I was talking about. That dropped out of a chest, which is one of the nicer drops from a chest. Again, it's me selling Ash rings for 50C, 49 to be precise. Random crap jewel, another formless ring for 7 div. Way more of these. Do you know what I mean? One of those ones. Again, it's because it's got cast speed on it. So again, it's, you know, there's my Skin of the Loyal that sold for 30 div. 2 div jewel. Like, it really adds up quite quickly. And, you know, if you like boss farming, this is really up there, right? Like, I mean, I'm pretty much done with the league now, so I don't really care what happens. It's taking costs. I've got more of them already than I'm going to run until I quit, right? So, but I'm just kind of, I like to show people, because just saying it doesn't mean anything, does it, right? Like, it's, if you've got proper proof of it, happy days, right? But I hope you guys have all the luck in the world. I hope you drop a ton of these. I hope you get all the stuff you want. If you are into boss farming, this one's right up there, guys. Honestly, for the cost of entry, this is silly. But anyway, that's the whole process. That's how to make the most money out of it possible. If you are going to do this, I would highly recommend selling the lavish, selling the ancients, and just buying the mysterious and just printing more ancients to sell. Gambling is never going to be the way you make money in this game. Selling things to gamblers is how you make money in this game. And, you know, if you buy the lavish for 3C and on average it chucks out 114C. Do you see the maths in that? You can't lose, right? And you've only got to do that like 10 times or 15 times and you've made a divine. And if you're doing it with 100,000 hive blood, when they only cost like 1,000 to roll, you can see the maths in that. It's like 10 div, right? So, it's going to cost you like 80C and you're going to make 10 div just off that. Not even the fact that there's going to be the 50 or 60 runs you did is going to have dropped several of those rings, probably a jewel or two. Like, you're going to drop some nice stuff, right? But again, I would say that the main reason this farm would be gated is people are bored of it, or they just get bored. And if you had to play the whole boss fight and stuff, I would probably get it right. But, luckily, some archetypes don't have to worry too much about that. But you can't cheese the fight either. You can't just instant kill them, which is unfortunate. But I've got the damage. I've got like 40 million DPS, so I could do it. But unfortunately it's phased. Like almost all their fights are phased now. But again, for the price to entry, this is silly. You'd be silly not to do this if you like boss farming. But if you didn't know this existed, or you didn't know how to make the most money out of it possible, I promise you guys, I don't just fucking buy stuff and keep it. I run these constantly. I've run probably 500-600 of these this league. I really like this farm. And as you can see from my sales history, it does drop good stuff. You do get money out of it. But anyway, all the best, guys. Have a good time.